Welcome back to Mr. Wickland's Virtual Math Classroom, where today what we're going to be looking at is multiplying decimals by whole numbers. You guys did multiplication by 10 and by 100, and all we're going to do is we're just going to change it up a little bit. And you guys have done multiplication with whole numbers. You've done, 2 times 1, for instance, and you get 2. All we're going to do is it's exactly the same thing, except we're introducing the decimal. Really, what you have to pay attention to, as always when you're dealing with decimals, is lining up the decimal. Knowing where the decimal goes in the answer. Okay? So we're going to look at several different examples because I want you to understand wholly the concept of multiplying by decimals. So imagine we have 1 decimal 2 3. So I have 1 whole, I have 2 tenths, and I have 3 100ths. Okay? I have 1 whole, there's the 2 tenths, there's the 3 hundredths. So imagine I multiply it by 2. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm doubling. Alright, because that's what multiplication by 2 is, we're doubling. So if I double 1 whole, what do I get? I get 2. Alright? What I'm doing here is I'm doing 2 times 1. This right there. 2 times 1. And I get 2. I look at the tenths. I had 2. I'm doubling, or I'm multiplying by 2. Well, 2 times 2 is what? 4. Same thing with the hundreds. I had 3. I am multiplying the hundreds by 2, and I get 6. So it's easy to see what the numbers I get, and now you need to be able to write that as a decimal. Well, you guys know that I have 2 wholes, 2 ones, decimal, I have 4 tenths, and I have 6 hundredths. So 2.46. That's all we're doing, is we're just doing simple multiplication. But what we need to remember and what we need to keep in mind is where that decimal goes. Okay? When we walk through all these different examples, we need to pay attention as to where the decimal goes, because some of it is going to be done in Google Docs, and so what we need to do is just work through the questions. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to find the product. The product is simply multiplication. When I ask what the product is, that means I want you to multiply. Okay? And so what we are going to do is we're going to take this simple equation, 2 times 1.33, and what we're going to do is we're just going to multiply in our heads. Alright? So what I always like to do is you always start out working with the far right. Okay? Always multiply by the far right. So if we do that, 2 times 3, and we always put that number to the far right, because we start on the far right, we work our way over to the left. Okay? 2 times, so basically 2 times 3. Alright? Well, 2 times 3 is 6. We do it again. 2 times 3 is 6. Now, notice what my next thing would be. My next item is the decimal. Notice that there's 2 places after the decimal. Well, in my answer, there's 2 places, so therefore I need to include my decimal here. Okay? Then I can do 2 times 1, which gives me 2. Okay? Knowing where that decimal goes, so I know that there is, when I work my way over, 1, 2, 1, 2, decimal. Okay, 2 places, hundreds, tenths, decimal. Let's work our way over here. To B, what we're going to do is we're going to do simple multiplication again. So 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. So what comes next in my answer? Well, I've done the hundreds, I've done the tenths, therefore my decimal comes in now. And then 3 times 2 is 6. Okay? Guys, this is Very simple. You should be able to get this. And what I want to do is I just want to go, we're just going to take a look at C. And now I would like you to do C on your own as a Google Doc, okay? And just be careful of where the decimal is, how many places, okay? So I want you to do the arrows if you have to, but always start on the far left. So what I want you to do is I want you to do question 1C in your Google Docs, please. Okay, we're going to move on. And what we're going to do is we're basically just going to extend, okay? But not only extend, what we're going to do is we're also going to have to round, or I wouldn't say borrow, but what we're going to have to do is regroup, okay? So if we look at this, what we're going to do is we're going to do our multiplication. Do I have any hundreds as I'm starting out? Well, hundreds are 2 places past the decimal, so no, I don't. 0. Okay? Nothing. Do I have tenths? Yes, I do. Well, 6 times 4. What's 6 times 4? Well, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. I have 24 tenths. Okay? Now I'm going to multiply 6 times 1. That's going to give me 6. So I have 6 wholes, and I have 24 tenths. Now here's the thing. I can't have 24 tenths. Okay? It's like having 24 dimes. What is 24 dimes? Well, it's too many, right? Because I can only have one number, right? And so what I need to do is I need to regroup, okay? Because if let's say I did have 1/100th, and I'm just going to write it in dashes, just to signify that it's not really there. I'm just pretending. How would I write that? Well, how I would write that then would be 6.241. But the thing is that I don't have any thousandths, right? Tenths, hundreds, thousandths. I have 24 tenths. Well, I don't have any thousandths, so therefore I need to regroup. So when I regroup, I take the 2, it comes over here to the 1s, okay, because I'm regrouping, right? It's just like when you do any kind of normal addition or multiplication. Whenever you have too many numbers in the one spot, or if you have a tens number, you have to carry it. So when I regroup, I still have 0 hundredths, I get 4 tenths, and I get 8 ones. That's just regrouping. So then how is that written? Well, that's written 8.4. So when I multiply 6 times 1.4, I get 8.4. Alright? Let's do B together. So what we're going to get is and Mr. Wicklum didn't do the regrouping. I apologize. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same as always. I go over 5 times 2, I have hundreds. That's the spot. I have 10 of them. 5 times 7, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 tenths. And then I have 5 times 3, which gives me 15 ones. Now, if I was to write this out as is, so this is as is, it would be 15.3510, which doesn't make sense, okay? Because you guys know that there's only 2 spaces past the decimal, so it would be cut off here. So we need to regroup, okay? So what I need to do is I need to take the 1 here, and it needs to go over to the tenths column. So plus 1. I need to take the 3, it needs to go over to the 1s, and then I can go. So I have 0 is what it translates to. 5 plus 1 gives me 6. 15 plus 3 gives me 18. So my answer written out would be 18.60. That would be my answer. Now that's just the long form. That's writing it out. So we're doing mental math and we're writing it out. Okay? Last but not least, what you're going to see is you're going to see just normal multiplication. Okay? As you can see, I've taken the first two, A and B, from up here, and I've wrote them down here. We should get the same answer. Well, 6 times 4 is 24. So what I do is align everything up, right? That's the key. Decimal, decimal. I had 2. 6 times 4 is 24. I carry the 2. 1. 6 times 1 is 6. 7, 8. 8.4. Look similar? It should. Last but not least, I'm not going to put any lines in here. What you need to do is just line your decimal up. Line it up, we're good. 5 times 2 is 10. 5, 10. Put my 1 up here, right? Which is the exact same thing as carrying the 1 over to the 10th spot. Doing this, I carried it over. It's 35, 36. So I have 6. I carry my 3. Carried the 3 is 15, 16, 17, 18. 18.60. Now I can have as many numbers past this decimal to the left of the decimal as I want. But to the right, I could only have 2 because in my question, there is only 2 past the decimal. Last but not least, what I would like you to do is I would like you to do question 3C in your Google Docs questions, please. Okay? So multiplication using decimals, what we need to always remember is we need to always line up the decimal. Always need to line up the decimal. Okay? That's my lesson for today. This is Mr. Wicklum signing off.